Ghana ni tonaton ade ani je umpa okruma tonaton okoton ba one this one factory Ghanaians should have taken advantage by the state policy amudia be nanka business people want won hwewrem they are not doing it tonaton na ko China ko faba ko ko faba ko Nigeria ko faba ko Germany ko faba ko America ko faba no abeton wo dia be go sampa no woton enua na ewu
say aban bia no beba so no ohu say say me ye budget allocation kwa na me twesi ka kese to hono mo ya me be support entrepreneurs no go bebre na no aban so adwin say sika ho de man kura obedi look at Maslow another government financial institution nko ko ji kanka hono mo o ji kana o se me party na wa ban mutibedi enti ade no a two-way traffic uwaji and banks no so no the banks, most of the banks, I'm telling you, most of the banks, the people you see at most of the banks, they are not bankers.
But they are
what makes them bankers is not the fact that they are in the air condition. They bring on business initiatives near them on Chelsea. As the banks, as almost periodic workshops, entrepreneurial workshops at their home offices, especially the people they call their branch managers. May one for relationship officers near the Nano. As a banks no status only periodic entrepreneurial workshops at their mom. Let them understand that them because I want to know or where don't dollar you go or sociology you go. Then we know what is a bank way. So oh yeah, over to me and access into quickly we will acquire banker or training
this morning. Young uncle, a young correspondent, Charles, or that's who Nigeria. We are going to speak to him. We have our brother on the line. Charles, Ahumanoso is in Nigeria. Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Bright. Good morning to you, and good morning to your cherished listeners. Yes.
Charles, let's go straight into the matter or the issues. The question is, why are African dollar billionaires only found in Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa? What do you think is being done right by them, which is not being done by the other part of Africa? I'm talking about Ghana in context, because you are Ghanaian. Why do you think that the Nigerians do it right, that there are so many billionaires in Nigeria? Why do you think that the Egyptians do right, that we don't do it right, that there are billionaires in Nigeria and millionaires in Nigeria and Egypt and South Africa, that we cannot find Ghanaians among? The other time I was talking to you about it last week, I was discussing this matter with you, and you said one thing that helps the Nigerians is their population. Nigerian population is about 300 million, and you think that that is what is working for them. But some of them, when you look at the population of Algeria, it is not up to that. When you look at the population of Egypt, it is not up to that. When you look at the population of South Africa, it is not up to that. Shockingly, we have one person from Swaziland who is among the top billionaires in Africa. He's a billionaire. Population of 1.1 million in South Africa, Swaziland. This man finds himself among the millionaires or the billionaires in Africa and in the world. What do you think that they are doing right that we can't do it? Because you did international administration and finance. So I believe that you can explain this thing better for our listeners to also understand why. And what do you think that Ghanaians should also do, that they can also become members of this club? Hello,
thank you very much, Uncle Bright. Thank you very much once again for your wonderful program, and thank you also to your cherished listeners across the globe. Now, the issue is that, you see, when it comes to business, if you want to see a successful business person, it depends on how the person defines business. That is where the whole thing starts from. I can tell you there are too many business people in this world, but the richest business people have a different definition of business. That's what I'll tell you. Most of the richest people you see in this world, they have a different definition of what we call business. You see, when you look at the countries that you have mentioned so far, you mentioned Swaziland, Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa. The factors are too many, but let me tell you, one, before any country or before one can become a very good business person, it starts with the environment where the person is going to operate. Does the environment itself understand business? If the environment doesn't understand business, then you have a problem.
If the government, Charles, hold on,
especially the subsequent government.
Charles, hold on. What do you mean by if the environment does not understand business? What do you mean by that? Because I know that business is business.
Let me give you this. Let me give you this scenario. Let me give you this scenario. You know, I studied international entrepreneurship as well. Mm. Now, when you look at the American, the giant American companies, look at Dell Computers by Michael S. Dell. Look at what Walmart by Sam W. Watson. Look at Tetana, CNN. Look at Walt Disney by Disneyland. Look at Fred W. Smith, FedEx. Look at, check all of them. You see, all of them, all these people started their businesses when they were young, when they are their youthful stage.
Okay.
Now, when you look at somebody like FedEx, FedEx conceived an idea of becoming a business person even when he was a student. And then accidentally he ended up becoming an army officer. But as soon as he entered into the army, he came out and said, look, this is not where I belong. No, let me go back and then cast my mind back from where I conceived the idea. Now he quickly went ahead to develop his business plan and said, look, I'm going to enter into courier business. FedEx at the time, at the tender age of 25, he was able to send his business plan to a bank. And in the of America at the time, he had the biggest startup capital of $100 million.
But you know, that is difficult in Africa. But I'm saying that is difficult in Africa.
So I'm giving you if the US environment at the time didn't understand what business is all about, they will have just done itself into this. Okay, in the most part of Africa, do we have banks giving understand business? Do we have financial institutions that are friendly to business, to every business initiative, every proactive business initiative? Do we have that environment? I'll tell you, Nigeria has that environment.
Okay, that's where
Nigeria banks have. Come again.
I said that is where I wanted you to go. So you are on course. Yes. So just continue.
Nigerian banks and the Nigerian government understands business. This is why this is what encourage people. This is what encourages people to always go into business, because the moment the person realizes that if I conceive an idea and go to this particular bank, at least they can assist me, then more people will rather veer off into entrepreneurial initiatives rather than becoming politicians. You understand where the argument is?
Yeah.
Now, number two, how does the respective government
young side of Nigeria for when we look at business, the reason why now person would define business and they say Nigeria for understand business for a fact say will be what business plan as or the call banker. The banker usually support sound pan. You be pick a crana, yadan de mukakrane de akobrofo. Is that what you mean? Say a new Nigeria for why more successful in business than even Ghana.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The person, or number two. The second, they also take advantage. I know they've taken advantage over their population size and all that. But you brought in one gentleman from Swaziland. Let me tell you, the gentleman from Swaziland, it is because he has several businesses outside Swaziland.
Yes.
Most Ghanaian entrepreneurs.
Yeah, this is the very thing that I want us to discuss. I'm saying that what are they doing right that we can't do? Because Ghana, we have skilled ourselves and confined ourselves
you the scenario.
One or two businesses, Tonaton and those things. Yeah.
I'm giving you a scenario. You see, most American business people, and in fact, they started what I'm going to tell you, what we call franchising. You see, it is the vehicle for the expansion of most business enterprises across the world. Look at McDonald's, for instance. By 2006, December 12, 2006, McDonald's alone had 26,500 outlets across the world.
Okay.
Why? Because they see the franchising as the fastest vehicle for raking in more money, creating more customers ahead of time, and making sure that they consolidate their gains.
Okay.
Now, Africa, Ghana, business no. So only the transcontinental country and say, me pacho South business we, me pasi ekobue bi US.
Yes.
Yemwe bi Canada. Yemwe bi Haniha. Osro. Because onokra no ni say akwaya so kan so market do. Osro. And onim kwa obefa so betumi abue ade no. And number 2, or lucky the trust. Or lucky the trust in entrusting any part of his business into the hands of other people.
Okay.
Now,
why?
Dangote, look at somebody like Dangote. Dangote has found it necessary to operate most of his businesses in most African countries.
Yes.
Cement factory will be Ghana. And Ghana, Uganda, one year they were checking over. And we want to say, I didn't me, you know. More customers.
Okay.
Business itself is not about profit making. It is one thing I said Ghana for sharing so. Any most Africans. Business is not just about profit making. It is about creating and sustaining customers.
Okay.
And your ability to create and sustain more customers, and then we are more business oriented person.
So that makes that makes the Nigerians more successful in business than Ghanaians and Ivorians and the other parts of Africa, apart from South Africa and Egypt.
Yeah, because they focus more on international business and only how to enter into any international market. They have the pedigree to lobby every government in power. If they have to lobby the government, they can lobby it. If they have to lobby any individual or highly influential in where they intend going, they have a way of doing it. And this is what makes Nigerians more successful. In South Africa, it is the same. Swaziland,
yes,
I can tell you he has several businesses outside Swaziland. He has several businesses outside Swaziland. And number 2, you see, Michia, Australian businessman be or a baker.
Okay.
Australia.
Okay.
Michia international bakery show be as a bakery confessional show be as a. And we be to me in a buy and to me Ghana never no say na me person me call me baker and I'm so I wish to say make me but then let me tell you one secret in this life. If you want to be a successful business person, always try to sell an item that both the rich and the poor can afford.
Okay.
Now some of
that was
an item that both.
That was a smart advice.
But you see,
yeah, that was a smart advice.
Yes.
Go ahead.
See, when I finished school, when I finished my first degree, I straight away decided to become a baker. Initially, some people didn't understand me, but I told myself that this is where my instinct is. This is how my instinct is telling me that I should go into it. So the first thing he did was to take his time and do a comprehensive research work into the statistics as to the number of bread that are being bought in several countries across the world. And one country that enticed him so much was France.
Okay.
He realized at the time that baguette, French for baguette, every day they sell 16.4 million pieces across France.
Every day.
If you have a population of yes, every day. If you have a population of 70 million at the time, that's a woman top bread 16 million. That's a woman even the second largest, the second richest baker of France. You can imagine your money. Assuming, say, even bread na wotono, uchika of profit also a 30 centime. So one half of the population across France. 30 century times 8 million customers a day, 8 million pieces times 30 century.
Yes, so
what I say, maybe look at Omu business Omu Yeno. Also, no from home. Ghana for the Conano. Or your business beer, both the rich and the poor can afford that. Be bringing of later a system.
Okay.
Who say a business on the business a year Ghana for the Donano was our mentality. No, say imagine say Mammy be caught. Sorry, Ghana, Mammy be quite sorry. And now also now or what deep I won't catch and say, Yami, I catch and say, on Saturday or Tom Chaco. One chin wash it. Now, of related Chaco no or best tone or tables on one. But not the man who said, Chaco no or 20 year, obey to me a wholesale Chaco. And he perception, business, perception, your perception about business, you know, and why. And Ghana Africans will bring or business or to me create customers. Africans will bring or need the pedigree to create customers, but we need the sustaining our business, you know, it's also to be creating more customers ahead of time. And number two, most African business people have no defined succession plan. Very important.
Okay.
They bring or chasing and business who are business game.
Okay.
There are too many business people in Ghana now, and now Chelsea and Yebonidi. Oh, yeah, no, any business.
Okay. And then number three.
And number three, no, to send your maker to say,
one and Kababa example.
Papa Binia Fano Amoya, shop Biafano Amoya, no more Kaneshi a Soho baby. No more Kaneshi market a Soho. Make out me talk provisions near Leo. Oh, yeah, the business, no,
okay.
There are too many Ghanaian business people. I don't even have to mention their names. Entrepreneurs who more PP or Ghana. Oh, yeah, no, and businesses no year because of just, you know, when to me and developing any definable succession plan. Say minimum more as I said, the person see, and I think they are ordaining ma, nature, and ma, the family members in the nature, so that when he is gone, he or she is gone, they will take over. So you know, any Ghana will be bring.
So number three.
Because who will be ordinary business no say or you will be a good question. Number three, population and income also population and income. In fact, Oko Bia we are around the Obia Chekrasi no person or your business beer. Ghana say especially we want all of a sudden no Obuna Keti no bank. What is the conventional perception here? The conventional perception here is that me idea Accra de go for more no muchika and it was so Accra and because so Ukwasi now who say omo year mobile money transfer near here Ubako no ada umbrella na wada Ubiba umu anaba but ye 30 cities man until a friend adwa Ubiba ya upacho and if you take mama papa bia or mame na wada but on credit nipa tuwashia we buy ya pato 70,000 mame we buy 2,000 pato me wallet kwa mini na for me wallet mu sa scenario no enti nipa dwetwe say the dey a population and income. These are the two determinant factors in China income. And then number three, prices of items and also very important. This is one thing that gives Nigerians an asymmetrical advantage over most African countries. Nigeria found it on. They don't overprice their items. Nigerians don't overprice their items. I'm not one day. I can give them that credit. Yes. They don't overprice their items. Look at the real estate businesses that are going on now. Now in Abuja here, there are prime areas that are real estate houses, apartments that have been developed in prime areas in Abuja here, and they are selling them for 15 million naira, 2-bedroom apartment, 15 million naira.
Into dollars how much?
Which is mathematically $23,000
in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, in Abuja here, not just in Nigeria, in Abuja here, in the capital.
Whereas in Accra, in Accra, those things you can get it at least $50,000 or $60,000.
No, but I know of a real estate firm that has developed apartments at Roman Ridge. I have called them. I know it's not a speculation or I have called their marketing department and they told me, yes, they are selling the $3,000, $400,000.
$400,000.
That $400,000 can buy, yes, that $400,000 can buy about 8 or 9 different apartments in Nigeria.
Listen, what advice would you give to Ghanaians? What about the final advice that you give to them in brief, about just a minute? What advice would you offer Ghanaians that there is something that they do wrong? And in terms of to penetrate the international market, even within Africa. I want to be to say the Nigerians, the Egyptians, and the South Africans, and what not. Then we'll be to my Ghana ni Tonaton. I didn't need you to Ukrume Tonaton. Okodokoton. But one thing, one factory, Ghanaians should have taken advantage by the state policy. Like a business people want to do room. They are not doing it. Tonaton, ko China, ko Faba, ko Faba, ko Nigeria, ko Faba, ko Germany, ko Faba, ko America, ko Faba. No beton. Where they go some pap no ton. And we are new. Brief 1 minute advice Ben Adibama.
You see, the advice also starts with governments. Okay. This particular government or subsequent governments that will come. Government must find a means of building an acceptable synergy between the government machinery and that of the entrepreneurial sector. Entrepreneurs, as I said, buying beer no bebasono. Who said, as I said, me budget allocation corner. Because it can be best supported entrepreneurs. Number 2, there should be a clear discipline, entrepreneurial discipline. Because look at Maslow, another government financial institution. Or this kind of a two-way traffic. And the banks also know. The banks, most of the banks, I'm telling you, most of the banks, the people you see at most of the banks, they are not bankers.
But they are
what makes them bankers is not the fact that they are in the air condition. On business initiatives near them, on Tiashi, as the state banks, as almost periodic workshops, entrepreneurial workshops at their home offices, especially the people they call their branch managers, may one for relationship officers near the as a banks no started some periodic entrepreneurial workshops at their mom. Let them understand that them because I want to know or don't go or sociology will go. Then we know what is a bank way. So over to me access quickly we acquire banker or training. It doesn't make the person necessarily a banker. The person is a graduate, all right, but he's not a banker. Okay. There should be a consistent and periodic training of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurial training for bankers. Now, business is not about making profit 2-3 months. You don't establish a business and expect a profit within 2-3 months.
Okay.
Even microfinance for a Google Bebre, sometimes I wonder why people blame the government. Don't blame the government because if you establish a financial institution and you are giving out a loan for 6-7% a month, what 72%, when the foreign banks are giving loans 3-4% annually. You are giving your 72%. And so the business collapsed right in the bank before the person left the place.
Charles,